All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the 13th episode for The Walking Dead Season 9. In this one, we'll start things off by giving our thoughts on people still don't think that RJ is real, and then we'll get into all of your guys' questions and kind of reactions after seeing last night's episode. Yeah, and spoiler warning, we'll start things off with that one, but it's just part of the Q&A, because I wanted to do a Q&A for today since last night we got a new episode of Walking Dead, episode 12, and I feel like it was pretty well received. Most people are pretty happy with the episode from what I've seen, but most people are even more excited for episode 13, which is coming up. I'm just not sure about the episodes right now. Like, I've personally been enjoying them a lot. I hope you guys have been enjoying them. Leave your comments below. Let me know how you felt about episode 12, and just not seeing too many people that pumped about it. But I mean, I thought the ending of episode 12 was awesome. I really did. Really cool stuff. This one came in straight away. A few people started to mention this one. I guess this fan theory just kind of won't go away, and I don't want to upset anybody with it. That's just the first one. We'll get into lots of other stuff after this one, but for the Q&A questions. But people just don't think RJ's real, and it's kind of tricky. This was another one that didn't really confirm that he was real, but there was the clip for the teaser trailers for this half where you saw the Whisperers and they were kind of watching, and you saw the thing, and she was like carrying RJ, I think. Now in this one here in this episode, Danny Palmer said, Trev Q&A, who is Michonne looking at sleeping before talking to Judith? RJ? And it was pretty strange. I had to watch it back myself because I'm like, well, I think so, but it kind of looked like a girl from the angle. So I was like, so I watched it back again. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be RJ, I think. Tricky stuff. I don't know how. I guess it's difficult to convince people, a certain character is real. Maybe just because of the age that RJ is at. Taking a nap, I guess, during the day when Judith gets back, and after her being kind of caught to going to see Negan, and she kind of freaks out, she runs away, which is funny. The kid gets caught, but yeah, man, a lot of people still don't think that RJ is even real. So, I mean, personally, I don't think they're going for some kind of a a twist like that, like a Fight Club type of twist or something like that for Michonne. I really don't think it's necessary. Also, if you look at season 10 and the amount of episodes she'll probably have left after this season ends, because we just have 4 episodes left of this season, so she'll probably barely be in them. She might be in a couple of them, but it probably won't even be that much. I would tend to think that I don't think we will see Michonne sort of lead an episode. Maybe she'll be a half a concentration, but it kind of feels like in the back half she sort of started out as kind of like the lead in a way, but they've kind of gone away from that in the last few episodes. This episode 12, she was in it a little bit at Alexandria, but considering there's only 4 episodes left, she might get a couple more episodes where she's one of the leading characters with Daryl and with the others. But, this one is tricky to convince people of, and I guess I can't say it's one that it's easy to see that the character is real or is what it is. I'm just trying to think of any times when she was out in the open during daylight or whatever, when other people saw her with RJ to kind of disprove the idea or disprove the theory. I'm still going with the idea that RJ is real, and I think that's the case. They kind of said, I think, on Talking Dead that RJ was. So, that's kind of where I'm going with right now. And, until proven otherwise. If they do some kind of twist later on or something, I just don't know, right? I'm not sure. But leave your comments below on that one. Let me know how you guys felt about that scene where she goes and checks on RJ, and then she sees Judith come home and then goes and closes the door and goes and talks to her afterwards. And Judith kind of mentions how she never listens to her, and she likes that Negan, listens to her because other people don't. Albert Jackson says, sorry, Daryl, but I do think Beta will win this fight. And, I think that Beta will take this one, but it might be close, though, right? I think Daryl should put on a pretty good showing. I don't think it'll be a 100% ass-whooping type of thing from Beta to Daryl, but certainly when you watch the promo video for episode 13 and the tackle, it looks like Beta's going to sweep him. But I tend to think Daryl will put on a pretty good showing for himself and might injure Beta a little bit, but probably Daryl will have to flee because Beta is super tough, super strong, and super big. I also like how they present him in the TV series as pretty savage and very fast. So he's a big guy, but he doesn't feel like he's this big lumbering type of character. He feels like he's very fast, very, all of a sudden breaks through, all of a sudden he's on top of you, and boom, he's slamming you in the wall and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see kind of a bigger character that's not portrayed as like this big slow guy who you can outpace. No, it's like he's just as fast as you, except he's way bigger than you too. So that's tricky. Of course, we see it from Daryl's perspective, right? So it's kind of cool. Teena Pittman says, I get the feeling that when they fired or killed off Carl, the core cast abandoned ship one by one. I don't blame them. Even though Glenn was my favorite, Carl was the most disappointing death. Then Rick gone, Maggie gone, Jesus killed, only Daryl and Carol left. Rick, without the rest of them, will be pointless. I don't even know the new cast members' names. Don't care if I know them. So that's unfortunate to hear that Teena's kind of like don't care at all at this point. Well, it's a popular fan theory right now as well too that that because of Carl leaving in season 8, or because of what happened with that, then Andrew Lincoln decided to leave. After that. See, I don't know if they knew that Andrew Lincoln was going to leave the following year before they decided to do that with Carl or not. I would tend to think that he probably would have told Gimple that he was planning on going the very next year after his contract ended. So Gimple decided, okay, let's do the Carl thing now. And have it be part of Rick's story instead of having Carl go on further and kind of bring Judith forward. Someone must have had the idea to bring Judith forward as like the Carl 2.0, as well as Henry as well too, doing the same kind of deal. How the whole thing worked out exactly, we may never know. We'll have to see if it's ever made public, some of the details behind all that, but it may never be. Personal stuff, right? T-Bone says, I just realized Judith is an original character. She's been there since season 1. I suppose if you count her being, part of Shane to start things off. And then there's the scene with Shane and Lori in the woods. So I guess you could say, if you want to speculate, that's probably the first scene for Judith, was when they they got together. After that, Lori was probably pregnant. And, so she's pretty much been there since the beginning, just in a different way that we would think of. Not quite born yet. So fun stuff. Isaiah Bryant says, dude, this episode was amazing. The ending gave me mid-season 3 finale vibes. This feels like the true Walking Dead. So in some ways, and then in other ways, new, which is good. T-Bone says, Travis should be the ultimate fan. We need to get him on Talking Dead. So I've given up on that at this point, the whole Talking Dead thing. I sent through like your submission or whatever for a few years there. Was it 3 years or something? 2 or 3 years. And I just decided, forget it. It's all good. It's cool. I don't even barely, Talking Dead nowadays, I watch it if I have time or if there's really cool guests on. But, most of the time I just basically watch the episode, turn it off, and then I do the videos with you guys right after, and then I go to sleep, and I go to work, and I, live my life that way, and watch all the previews and stuff like that. Sometimes there's good stuff for Talking Dead, though, and it does have a purpose. It's just, I personally don't watch it all the time, so it's what it is. Daryl put on the mask. Trev called it said hog, so I did sort of call it, but it wasn't that hard to do, because in the comics, you have a scene where Dwight puts on the mask, and, in order to face the Whisperers, in this case, we got to see Daryl do it, which was really cool. It was earlier than I thought, though. I didn't think we were going to see that this early. I thought it would be, next year, season 10 or something, in terms of timing. But it was pretty cool that they brought it in pretty much straight away, and it made sense because if they're going to try to get Henry and Lydia out of there against the Whisperers, they were outnumbered like crazy. So it was a nice diversion, distraction to sort of just get in there and get out as soon as they could, right? Very cool. Toby TV Official says, I found the scene with RJ really odd. Michonne walks in his room, sees him sleeping, and then walks out and closes the door. I think she has been hallucinating the whole time. No scenes with Rick Jr. have been shown. So, it's very strange. That's true. It's sort of in the middle. And can I say that I'd be surprised if RJ wasn't real? A little bit, because they did kind of say outside of the show that RJ was. So that's tricky, and there was the trailer and stuff. But we look forward to in the future seeing some actual scenes with RJ, and because you want to, you'd want to, but maybe they could be doing it for another reason. They could be doing it because they're not set on one actor yet for the part. So maybe that's why. Maybe they haven't decided who exactly is going to be the actor. Because to me, seeing the RJ sleeping in the bed didn't really look like the one that we saw in the before and in the teaser. So I don't know. Is it one actor? Is it not? Maybe it is one actor. It just doesn't. It looks a little different to me. All the scenes with RJ are just weird to me. Like it's like, what are we seeing? I don't know. I don't know why. It's just strange. It's probably nothing. Danny Palmer says Beta versus Daryl is a WrestleMania-worthy match. Yeah, that's true. It's a Bill Bryant UFC match. Yeah, that's true, man. It's definitely an awesome match, and I can't wait to see the two of them against each other in The Walking Dead. It's going to be very cool. Venom F4 Your Life says Whisperers look like Slipknot members, LOL. And that's something I hadn't thought about. They do, but one thing I wanted to mention, we saw Beta take a skin off of a walker in this episode 12, and it was brutal, it was savage. But when he takes it off, all the hair comes off too. And I hadn't really thought about for zombies or for walkers, but most of them probably would have a lot of hair because hair keeps growing after you die, right? So that's a weird thing, right? It just keeps going. So your hair keeps growing even after. So at least for a while. So they would all have basically long hair. So they're walking around, they're trying to eat people as zombies, and their hair just keeps growing. It's funny. So I guess naturally, if they take the skins off people, you want to think about it. Yeah, the freaking the hair would be long too. And if you're gonna skin it, scalp it, take the whole thing off the way he does it, then I guess you're gonna get the hair as well. If you're not doing just the front part, which I thought in the comics is kind of the way they would do it, but. TV series has kind of shown a little bit more detail for that. Brad Nichols says, before tonight, I was not sold on Alpha. Now I am going to have nightmares. So, yeah, nightmares. It's savage. Pretty savage group. They're in the mud. It's all dirty. There's blood everywhere. There's blood in her hand. She's walking around like, she's crazy, man. Really messed up. And, that was a brutal scene, razor wire or whatever. That was crazy. Pariah Sojourner says, being a whisperer looks boring as hell and dumb as F. Mope around like a walker while wearing stinky walker masks, never bathing. It's not the best lifestyle, right, to be part of the Whisperers. They just kind of mope around, do whatever, and that's kind of how it is. One thing about the TV series is that I thought it was impressive in the first scene when we walked in and saw the camp of the Whisperers, the amount of people that were there. But after that, it kind of got a small-time feel to me, and I thought the Whisperers would feel a little bit more big-time than they did, because they kind of feel like sometimes in some scenes they sort of feel like a small group. They don't always feel like this huge group with hundreds of members or whatever. In this episode, it's kind of like when we saw the camp, it sort of felt like it did, but then maybe not too. I don't know. It's it's a little tricky to say, but they definitely do not live the best lifestyle, right? It's kind of dirty and nasty. Antonio Diaz says the Whisperers are so ruthless. Yeah, they are. It's true. Very true. And I'm Joker28 says Connie might die. She's confirmed to be on Talking Dead next week, and she was just on there a few weeks ago. I hope I'm wrong about this. So, I hope you're wrong too, because I actually do like seeing Connie, but, you gotta have some character deaths, I guess, as things go through. Sabrina Suarez says, now I know how Alpha does the head thing, the beheading thing. Yeah, that's true. That was brutal, man. She holds it up and everything. Nasty. And the last one will be from Northstar98, who says, I honestly don't care who leaves or enters as long as Judith and RJ continue the Grimes story with Daryl being a fatherly figure and carrying on Rick's spirit. So, and then C. Cinchman also said RJ is a phantom. So a lot of people really still don't think RJ is real. And I'll tell you what, for the people who don't think RJ is real, maybe you're right, and we'll see if they later on show in an episode that it's RJ is a character figment of her imagination. Maybe Judith will say something and have enough and just let her have it or something, and then she'll realize that it's not real. We'll kind of find out. But if that's true, if RJ really isn't real, you guys can all say I told you so, because the others are adamant that RJ is real. So, very defensive over it. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, you can support the channel through Patreon. I'll have the link in the description below for the channel. Thank you guys all for all your support, and I'll have another video for you guys soon. Leave the questions below for the Q&A. Thumb up the video, share, favorite it, and subscribe if you're new at the bottom left. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.